The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, says the new board of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission must not favour but rather sanction any utility agency which does not live up to expectation. Inaugurating the newly constituted 9-member board, President Akufo-Addo said the days of poor performance are over and utility companies must give customers value for money.
And truly serve the Republic of Ghana.
The inauguration of the 9-member governing board comes at a time the government plans to industrialize the country. Experts say with the one district, one factory agenda, water and power are key, and therefore the need for utility companies to work around the clock. Set up about 20 years ago, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is a multi-sectorial regulator in the electricity and water sectors. The PURC also has regulatory responsibility over charges for supply, transportation and distribution of natural gas services. The Commission is to build a credible and sustainable utility regulatory regime to protect the interests of consumers and stakeholders. But some complain that lately the Commission is rather seen only protecting the utility companies. This order, President Akufo-Addo says, must change.
One of the most notable functions, as seen by most Ghanaians, to be effectively discharged by the PURC, has to do with the review of utility tariffs, most often than not in an upward manner. It would appear that the other functions, primarily to do with the protection of the interests of the consumer and the delivery of quality service by utility providers, have been largely shirked by the PURC. This perception can no longer be allowed to fester. It must change. As the newly constituted board, and in accordance with Act 538, the Ghanaian people demand that you protect their interests as well.
He also called for sanctions for utility companies that do not conform to standards.
In consonance with Section 13 of the Act, I urge you to ensure that where a public utility provider fails to meet any required standard of performance, it is appropriately and duly sanctioned. The board has a duty to contribute to the development of a competitive energy sector, to drive the industrial and economic development of our country, and at the same time, ensure that the ordinary Ghanaian has access to efficient, affordable energy. Government over the last 10 months has ensured that the supply and distribution of electricity have improved. We have successfully issued 4.7 billion Ghana cedis in 7 and 10-year bonds to settle a portion of the 10 billion Ghana cedi debt overhang we inherited in the energy sector. It is our anticipation that the remainder of this debt will be settled by the end of the first quarter of 2018.
The chairperson of the governing board, Mr. Michael Opam, said the board will deliver to prevent debts in the energy sector.
While government works to clear the legacy debts, we will chart a direction that will stop the accrual of further debts. We will demand greater operational efficiency and ensure a higher standard of performance of the utility companies to ensure consumers get reasonable value for their money. 20 years after the Commission was established, we believe it is time to elevate utility regulation to a higher level. We will strive to deliver services which are comparable to the best in the world, being guided by international best practices in the governance and operations of the Commission.
A lot is expected from this 9-member board, since the President is expecting them to crack the whip beginning today.